When I create work, I want to see stuff that will change the audience's breathing. With physical theater, I often say it's something that touches the heart and then the mind. So it's something that you feel before you actually might think about it. I like physical theater because it hits you viscerally before mentally. My name is Robin Marcotte. I'm the Managing Director of the Philadelphia School of Circus Arts, and we're here in Germantown at our 3,000 square foot facility. You see an evolution happening of circus. The traditional is still there, it's still vibrant, but you see people like Cirque du Soleil completely reforming the concept of circus and what it really means.
When you find circus in your life, there's really nothing else that can compare. And people have even asked me, like, if you had to choose your boyfriend or your trapeze, what would you choose? I really don't know. I don't know. I would probably not choose him, which is bad. I've been with him for 7 years. It would be a really hard decision because it really becomes an extension of who you are. And it's like people be like, well, I would take my arms off for someone else that I love. But that's not actually who you are. This is actually who I am now.
When PIFA approached us, they said we wanted a circus cabaret. We wanted to make it a little bit more than a cabaret, though. We wanted to make it more of a cohesive show. So we have our theme, which is, I believe it's Paris 1910, 11. The feeling and idea inside of Paris in that time frame is that there was an inspiration there. People were looking for something new, something innovative. And what we found was a lot of people would turn to absinthe. It was often thought that artists would drink absinthe to gain inspiration. They would drink so much absinthe that they would start hallucinating, and there would be often hallucinations of a green fairy. There were some terrible sides of it where they would get addicted to it, but there's also the inspiration side. And so we're looking into showcasing all the different aspects of the green fairy.
Since the show is kind of absinthe related, the struggle, what I've dealt with addictions in my life, and so I kind of am coming into this from a slightly different standpoint of, I think, like that NIF is, which is I know how hard addictions are to overcome, and I know how impossible it is sometimes to get yourself detangled out of them. My act involves being really super tangled up and then all of a sudden being free, seemingly out of nowhere. So I think that could really work with the theme of getting disentangled and having this lore of addiction and of whatever it might be, but ultimately that it's not good and you need to kind of free yourself from it.
So we have these incredible artists who really have just such amazing strength and talent in working with some of these aerials and the acro duo. And what I'm bringing to the table is an ability to draw out of them more of the acting side of things and the through line of it. We see a lot of really beautiful dancers in the air, what I call them, but I really want to work to bring them out to become actors in the air as well.
I've worked with so many kind of like little circus companies that that's all that they really want is just like, they're like, we don't care, just smile and you're fine. So doing something like this is always really refreshing to actually have a character. It's much more of a challenge to be like, oh, I need to be sad, or I need to be angry, or I need to be lustful, or whatever it might be.
It's an incredibly athletic piece. The single point trapeze is a basic trapeze, which is the square with 2 points at the top. A single point is when it's actually just 1 point hanging, creates a really long triangle. There's a series of wrappings inside the ropes and twistings where NIF will just dive out of the trapeze with it wrapped around her, and you just have to hope that you wrapped correctly. The fabric, otherwise known as tissue, that is just an enormous piece of aerial apparatus. The fabric is kind of wrapping yourself in a knot with such specificity that you're able to drop from 30 feet and know that your feet are going to catch you. It's quite a phenomenal skill.
It's like a home that you've built for yourself. And it's the one place that you feel really comfortable at home, but it also is really hard, and it beats you up, and it makes you frustrated and hate yourself, and you suck all the time. But then when you're done, sometimes you feel like, I did something amazing. And then what people see and get from that is really the joy that you get out of it.
It's very exciting to see this level of skill and have the ability to direct and create a show with this talent. So that's what I'm very excited about.
Pause. Not freeze. Relax.